Hey folks, just wanted to do a quick video on the option for fire marshals or inspectors or anybody who's in charge of doing fire and life safety inspections on First Do, how to make an inspection checklist. So to start, you log into your First Do, and one of the most important things that I learned about First Do is when you do your inspection checklists, you have to make a inspection document or actually a form for the inspection. So what I mean by that is think about having a form in a file. When you do the inspection, when it's complete, will then utilize a form that will be given to the occupancy or the occupant, the owner of the occupancy or the business owner. So this is the form that's going to follow once you finish your fire inspection. So form builder list, I would say before you build a inspection checklist, you want to build a form first that will accompany the checklist after you are done with the inspection. So if you're, let's say, doing a liquor permit inspection, or if you're doing a kitchen hood suppression system inspection, those are the forms that you want to build first, and then you can build your checklist, and then afterwards associate it with that form. So you click on Form Builder here, and these are all the forms that I put into in my inspection list. So multifamily apartment inspections, tank removals, if you're doing a tank pull inspection, liquor permit inspection. To build these forms, all you have to do is click on Create Form. And this will open up basically a blank worksheet. At the top here, you can add in pictures for a header. You could change the way the header looks by clicking on these 6 dots here. And if you see here, this gives you a title and a logo to the right side to the left side of the logo where the A is, or you can go to the right side of the logo. So if you clicked on this, that's what this is. If you click on this, then it moves the picture to the right. If you want to do a header just on the top, you can click on this with no text. If you just want text, or if you just want 3 logos, you could do that. If you want text and then 2 logos on each side, you could do that. Or if you just want text at the top. This is just the header. Now, at any time, if you want to move any part of this inspection form builder, if you want to move anything here, let's say inspection report, you want it down here. Well, then you click the arrow, and what that does, it moves it down. If you want to bring it back up, just click up. And if you want to remove it, just click the X. Okay. What you'll see here is basically form builder data inputs. So as you see here, this is already pre-filled. This is the fire inspection type. So if I wanted to import, let's say, a fire inspection report that I have now already saved that I used before First Do, I can copy and paste that information right here. So if I were to say on such and such date, the fire and life safety inspection was performed at, okay. So what you can do here now is you can input data fields. What I mean by that is the data field will auto-populate based on the information that you want to populate here. So I'm going to use this for an example. I want the date to populate here automatically when I start the inspection. Now to do that, you're going to click on the 6 boxes here, and what you're going to do is you're going to come over here and click Add Data Field. The data field will now open up a drop box, which will allow you to select any kind of data input from the fire inspection report. So there's a lot of information here that you can use. So what I want to do is I want to look for the date that I start the inspection. So inspection contact, here we go, current date. So that's when I'm going to start the inspection, okay? Then I click OK. And what that does is as soon as I start the inspection, that's going to auto import the date that I start the inspection. Then what you could do is you can add another data field here if you want. And click on here, add data field. And I'm going to say it was inspected. I want the address. So the billing address, the building number, the building status, or the business address, depending on how you enter in the information in First Due. If it's a business, you could just use the business address. If it's a multifamily occupancy, you can use the billing address, depending on how you enter it in. So click on business address and save. Okay. So now, when you're done building your form, you can click save, and what this is going to do, it's going to save it in your form builders list as the type of inspection, as the type of form that you want to associate with your inspection. Okay. So this form you could build, you could put as much information as you want in here. And at the bottom here, you can add your inspection signatures, either name, contact type, phone number, email address, location. If you have a vendor that's on the site, you can have them sign as well. And then down on the bottom, we'll give you the fire inspection results based on your fire inspection checklist. So we're going to close this here. So now, once I save this, this gets saved into my form builders, into my forms. So again, it's like having a file cabinet filled with forms that you can associate with your checklist. That's what this is here. These are all the different forms that I've built. Okay. So to make a checklist, now remember, this is just forms. So now what I want to do is, now that I've built my forms that are going to be submitted with the checklist automatically, now I want to set up my inspection. All right. So to do that, we're going to go into inspection types. Okay. So now inspection types, what this is going to do, it's going to populate and show what type of inspection types I have here. Now in Connecticut, we have, per the Connecticut State Fire Prevention Code, we have different types of frequencies based on the occupancy classification that are required to be inspected on a certain frequency. So for example, annual inspections are required for all residential A1, A2, education, I think H1 and institution, I1s and I2s. And then every 2 years are assembly 3s, H2, I3, I4, I think, and also B medicals. So to build a checklist, just click on Add New Type of Checklist. And up here, the inspection type. So for example, let's say in our state, in Connecticut, I'm going to do B medical. So any kind of medical facility that's a business, like I said, has to be done every 2 years. So here's your default schedule every 2 years. And now when I go to do the inspection, the program will then flag me or let me know in 2 years when the next inspection is due. So we go down to here, the inspection timer is basically how long it takes for the inspection to be done. You can toggle that off or toggle that on. It's a good, I think it's a good thing to have, because if you're planning on doing inspections and you want to schedule inspections, you can see how long it takes to do an inspection on one type of occupancy. So that way, when you go to schedule inspections, you can see how long it takes, and then you can schedule your day. Inspection signature requirements, you can add sign or fill, or there's no signatures required. I always put in sign or fill. Inspection completed by signed in user, whoever is assigned. So you may have a battalion that is in charge, or you may have an assignment for a battalion or platoon that you're going to have, okay, on November 10th, you guys are going to be doing these inspections. You're going to assign it to that platoon or that shift or whatever have you. Description is going to be medical business every 2 years. Whatever you want to put in here, you can do. If you do bill for your inspections, you can click on here. So as we go down the billing section, you click on yes, you do bill for this. In Essex, we don't. And then this is where you're going to build your checklist. So the checklist itself starts off with sections. So the way I build my checklist, I build it where I start from the outside and then I walk inside. So for example, exterior of the building, you could do exterior. And that builds the section here. Now, when you click on the checklist item, it now adds the items underneath the checklist section. So I want to add an item here. I'm going to say fire lanes present, just using this as an example. Fire lanes present and clearly marked. Okay. Here you write, is it mandatory response? For everything I just put yes. Now the response type gives you a couple of options. Standard inspection, okay? The standard inspection means that it gives you options that you can choose here. Pass, fail, citation corrected, non-applicable. I always choose pass, fail, non-applicable, or if it's been corrected, you could do all of them. The associated codes, this is important here. Now, depending on your state, your jurisdiction, First Due will load in any of the codes that you're required to have in your jurisdiction of what you use. Just ask them for it and they'll load it up. It's very easy for them to do. They're very responsive when it comes to putting these codes in. But the codes that are associated with fire lanes, if you click on associated codes, let's say you don't know where it's located and you just don't remember, you can add in, you can do a code description search. You could do a code paragraph search. So if you did a code description, it gives you an option to search anything that has fire lanes in it. All right. So click apply and it's going to bring up the applicable code. So this is the Connecticut State Fire Prevention Code here. The edition is 2022. It's in Chapter 18, Fire Department Access and Water Supply. Here's the section number, the section title, and the code. So you can click on this. I'm just going to use this for an example. If you find which code is associated to the question that you want, just click on it and then click Save. Okay, now once you see the 1, that means that the Connecticut State Fire Prevention Code 2022 edition, section 18.2.3.1.2 has now been associated with that question. Okay. This here, if you have any associated emails, if there is a pass-fail situation and you want somebody to be immediately notified by email, you could also put in a preview text like let's say if it fails, you can include the inspection report, carbon copy, the inspector, default recipient's email, blah 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 at gmail.com, and then the subject is fire lane failed. And then you could just put some type of text down here if you want. But that's for if you really want this section, if it's a priority inspection part that you want emailed immediately, then you can put an email under that section. So you can add as many checklist items under this section as you want. Now, adding another section, you can write, now we're going to go inside, you could write egress. All right. And then you can add something under egress. All egress is unobstructed. Whatever you want to add, as much as you want to add, you add it underneath each checklist section. And then the response type, again, standard inspection, which gives you the options to choose what you want, select all if you want, it's up to you, and then the associated codes. Now, the other available options you have for the response type are single select, okay? And you could also do multiple select, where you're actually going to add your own answers to these questions. And when you want to add, you could add multiple answers. Just continue to hit the plus button, and that'll give you options to add whatever answers you want. Free text. So let's say you want to add in something about egress points, and you're able to type in the box whatever you want to type in. And then a group name would be a group that you can assign yourself for a response type. But most of the time we're doing just standard inspection, which gives you the items. Now, once you build your checklist, let's say you want to move this section here, you could bring it down here and place it under. So these items here, the checklist sections, are movable. If you want to add different sections, you can add different sections to the checklist section here, and you can delete them, save them, or whatever you want to do. So there's a lot of options here. If you want to apply the checklist result options by default to all standard inspection type items, you can click this drop item here, or this drop box here. Click select all. What this does is every checklist item you place inside the checklist here will automatically import this type of result. So that's if you want to do that, you could do that. If you don't have to. Okay. So once you finish your build, now it's time to go into the forms. So the forms is what we just built before building the checklist. Remember, I told you have to build a form first. Okay. So default answers to show on the printed emailed report. This allows you to submit a report that the recipient will have all the information that you want them to have. So for example, if you only want them to receive the failed portion of the report, you could just click fail. And what that does, only sends them the violations. Okay. And now when you have no violations present, you can choose a form that you want. So for example, when we used to do, just recently, we went to not requiring to submit the Connecticut State liquor permit to the renewal, but we still have to do the liquor permit inspections. But we're not required. They're not required to submit the fire marshal inspection to the liquor permit letter. But we used to put here. I used to choose if there was no violations, then the form that I built was the Connecticut State form, and then you would choose that. Now, if you had an issue with failures, then what I want them to receive is approval not recommended. If it was completed with citations, then again, approval not recommended. So whatever outcome you have, you could choose the actual form that you want associated with that inspection report. So that's why I'm saying it's important. Build your forms first and then go into your inspection build. Your email will be an automatic email that is sent for this inspection type. So you can type in any kind of email you want here. Thank you for allowing us to come into your property for doing the fire and life safety inspection for your B medical occupancy. Please see the following information or the following inspection report. Contact us, yada, yada, yada. So that's going to be your email message that's going to be sent to the recipient once the fire inspection has been completed. Community Connect. So what you can do is you can actually allow the end user to log into Community Connect once they receive this inspection report, which is it's a very important thing for your district to have. If you don't have Community Connect, I highly suggest you get it. It's an amazing option for First Due. Once they receive the inspection report, they can also have the option to log in and make an account through Community Connect and sign up for Community Connect. This is Community Connect and high hazard users. Community Connect users, high hazard users, or not available. So I always put in Community Connect and high hazard users. Once you finish the build of the inspection checklist, then you're going to click Save. And what that does, it's going to save it into your inspection types. So once you go over to Inspections, here's your inspection types. And you'll see that the B medical inspection will populate under your inspection checklist here, right here. And I didn't finish it completely because I was just using it for an example, but you're able to go in anytime and edit it. You could download it. If you have another First Due user who needs the fire safety checklist that you built, which I send a lot of my checklists out to people who have First Due. I spend a lot of time on building these lists, and if you need one, let me know. I'll give you an inspection checklist. I can just email it to you. And then you could just import it. As you can see here, import XLS. This will export as an XLS. And then once I send it to you, you can import it and have it for yourself. But that's the gist of building your inspection types for fire inspections, for your for fire and life safety inspections. So it's pretty easy. I really like the program.